Are you looking to create drone images for your real estate business that look like this, or even this? Or are you just starting out? If you are, then this video is perfect for you. I will show you exactly what I do to edit my drone images for real estate, and I'll also take you through all the templates I've created that you can also use to elevate your business. It will save you so much time and make your images stand out. G'day friends, when I started doing drone work as a real estate photographer years ago, I found it very difficult to do the edits because I didn't have any templates. At the time, I didn't have a lot of knowledge in Photoshop beyond editing my normal real estate photos, and I looked everywhere online to try and find some pre-made templates, but they just didn't really exist. And if they did, they were hugely expensive. So as I had a lot of skills in Adobe After Effects, I created a basic template there and exported everything as JPEGs, which was very time consuming, but it got me by. But as my knowledge grew and my customer requirements evolved, I knew that I had to create some templates in Photoshop. I've noticed even now that there doesn't seem to be any templates that are readily available all these years later. So because we're friends, well, I think we are, I'm going to give you this very template for free so you can get started in your drone real estate business. And I'm going to show you some of the other templates that I've created for you that, although aren't free, are very cost effective because I know what it's like when you're starting out and how little cash you may have in the bank in the beginning. As usual, the links are in the description for you if you want to check it out for yourself. Let's go. This is the template you get for free. And with this template, you also get this sky as well, which you can load into Photoshop and use. I use this sky pretty much every time for all my drone images, because it's so evenly lit, and it's also, there's not a lot of detail. People don't really realize it's the same sky. Okay, so when you first open the template, you're going to see these boxes here. You're going to see some white boxes with some text on them and some little circles down the bottom here. This is the free template that I'm giving you, and you can use this for whatever you want. But basically this box here is in 3:2 ratio, which is correct for real estate. It's not 16:9 or 4:3. If you have a drone that only shoots in 4:3 or 16:9, you can still use this template, so don't worry, I'll show you how to fix that in a second. But here is an image that I've brought in, and this is in 16:9. So basically the height will be correct, but the width will be too long. First thing we need to do, of course, is replace the sky. So if you click on edit up here and go sky replacement, you can see that's the sky that I'm giving you. You can load that into Photoshop yourself and just replace the sky. All I usually do is I bring the brightness up a little bit just to even it out with the picture. Do OK, select all these files and just go merge layers. Now I have a file that's ready to go into my template. So we drag that in here, holding left click and dragging it across. And as you can see, the window is much larger. So you do Control T. And because it's in 16:9, all we're going to do is bring it down to the height. We want to match the height like this. You see it's the correct height, and press enter. Now when you click your file, you see that if your house is in the middle down here, you'll see that you can move it left or right and not lose any image because you've shot it a little bit wider, which can be a bonus. If you're using a Mavic 2 Pro or a Mavic 3, you'll find that the window size will be the same as 3:2, but anything less than, say, an Air 3S, which is what this was shot on, like a Mini 4 Pro or something like that, you're going to have to do it in 16:9 like this. So let's go over to the right now and move that layer, that picture layer, all the way to the bottom and put the draw here layer on top. All you have to do now is just put the dots on the landmarks. And how you find your landmarks is you go to Google Earth, you type in the address, you'll see the train stations and the shopping centers and parks and all that sort of stuff. Basically, you find the angle that you've shot with the drone because you flew around this whole house in a circle. Then all you have to do is match the shot you took with the Google Earth image, and you'll be able to put all your locations in. So for instance, there's the house. We're going to put a dot on there. Over here is a shopping center. By the way, I'm just left clicking and holding. We'll call this one here a school, and we'll say this one over here is a train station, for instance. So now we want to move the address bar. So if you click on it, don't just drag it because you'll move just the white box. If you just click on it and don't hold, move over to the right, you'll see that that box is selected. Click address, hold shift, and then you can move the whole lot across. Put it above the address. Same with the next one. And you just do this over and over again, and you see it's quite fast when you want to do it. If you want to get rid of these things, you just tap them, tap the ellipse there, turn it off down the bottom right. Tap the location, go up to where it says long box 4, just hit that I. Same for these ones. Hit the I, tap it, hit the I. Now you've gotten rid of all the things you don't need. If you want to move this again, like this location is not quite in the right spot, you can tap it again, go over to long box 7 over there and just move it across so it's out of the way. And as you can see, all these things are all lined up. To change the text, you just double click on it and change the text. You can do that with all of them, and you can move the text around however you want. Remember, if you want to move the whole lot, tap it, go over here and hold shift and you can move the whole lot. Now we go over to the brush tool. Make sure the brush is white, and my brush is square. That's a square brush I created, but you could use a round brush if you haven't got a square brush. Just use a round, hard edged brush. So don't use the soft round, use the hard round. Okay, but I'm using the square brush because I've created that for this very thing. and you go down to where it says draw here. Now we can just use the bracket tool, which is above the enter key, and bring the size down, and you click and hold shift and push upwards, and that will draw a white line. And this one here as well, hold shift, push upwards, and this one's going to miss. Hold shift, push upwards. You see I missed it, so we're just going to hit the move tool and move that across, just like that. And that's how you do your locations. It's pretty easy. Now I'm going to quickly show you how to do the land size. So here's an image of a house that I shot that points straight down. We're going to hold and click and drag it into your template, put it on top of the other one, and because it's a much larger file, you can resize this one as well. So Control T and do the same thing as we did before, just bring it down until the top and bottom border is in line. And we can move that left and right if we need to without having to crop it. Now if you go to the right down here, you can see that there is a tab that says land size. We're going to bring that down and just put it under the land size tab. Then what we're going to do is we're going to left click and hold and drag down to the plus button. We're going to create 2 more copies. Now we have 3 layers of this land picture. We're going to select the one in the middle. We're going to go up to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and change that to 15 and do OK. If you turn the layer above it off, you'll see that there is a blurry layer underneath. That is for the privacy of all the neighbors when you take a drone shot. Because if somebody was, say, basically sunbaking naked or something in this yard here, we don't want to see that. Or we might want to see that, but we don't want the world to see that. And they don't want us to see that, which is more important. So now we select the top layer. We go over to the brush, and you've got your square brush selected again. Just bring the size up a little bit using the same brackets above the enter key as before. And we're going to click on the border of this property. So we're just going to click, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, hold shift, click, and so on all the way around the property. Now we're going to go to the polygon lasso of the left here, and we're going to draw around that border. Now you can do this border neater than I've done it. Usually I hold shift so it's nice and straight, but I'm just showing it quickly to you. And then we go down to the right here, and we're going to make a mask out of that. So what it's going to do is going to cut out the bit we just selected. So if you click that once, you'll see that it has cut out the layer above. The one underneath is the blurry one. You turn the blurry one off. The one underneath that is the original layer. The only reason we have 3 is because the original layer is a backup in case you make a mistake. Now that you've done that, you've cut out your property, go up to where it says land size on the right hand side here and click that little eye next to it. Now we've got some measurements. If this land was 900 square meters, you can just select it and change it to 900 square meters. And you can move the text around however you want, as always. And you've got measurements here as well if you need them to go around the actual property. If you want to change the rotation or the size of these texts here, you can just click it and go Control T, and you can also resize it. We're going to rotate it around like this to 90 degrees roughly, and press enter, and you see that the measurements are there. And you can change the measurements too by double clicking on them and changing it to 33 meters, for instance. So you can change all these easily. Then all you have to do is just export them out as a TIFF file, and I'll load that into Photoshop, and we can color correct it however you want. Okay, this is the free one that I've given you. This is what it looks like, obviously with an image, and it's all color corrected and so on. But in the super pack, I do provide these templates. I've created a bunch of different ones like this blue one. There are similar ones that are all similar colors, so you can just pick between which color you want and which one you don't want. But then of course, I've got some more customized labels like this one and this one, of course. This one here is my favorite because I just love all the little icons. It took me forever to do this template, but once it's done, it's really easy to edit. As you can see, there's varying different styles. I tried to match a whole bunch of different styles to different tastes so people can find one they like and use it for whatever they want. Now, part of that pack is the 11 templates plus the square brush that you saw me use here, and you get 2 Lightroom presets like this. So this image here, let's bring that in now. This image here is basically how I shot it. The only thing I've done is replace the sky with that sky. And as you can see, this part here is the original sky, and that part is the sky I replaced, because when you use Photoshop, it blends in your existing sky with the one you put in. So you always get a slightly different sky. So no one picks up on the fact that they're different. But in that 11 template super pack, you get 2 presets. One is drone edit land and one is drone edit location. Let's do the location one now. If you just click on it, you'll see that it's basically edited that photo for you already. Then all you have to do over here is basically do any cropping or alignment you might want to do to make it a bit straighter. Horizon's a tad off, and also it's a bit too blue, so you can just move to the yellow a little bit, like so. And then you've edited your images in one click. And for the land, it's the same thing. If I bring in a land shot like this and go over to the land, as you can see, it just color corrects it straight away. You don't really have to do anything except maybe crop this one in a bit closer. And there you go, it's all color corrected and looks great. As you can see, it's done all the adjustments for you. And that's part of the super pack. But if you don't want to use the super pack, that's 100% fine. I have made it very affordable for people because everyone's starting out, I get that. I'm trying to make everyone's budget go a little bit further. But if you don't want to use that, I understand completely. Feel free to use the free one at your will for as long as you want, forever, and that will get you out of trouble and get you started. If real estate drone photography is something you've always wanted to do or you want to get started in, then you'll love this video right here, where I show you step by step exactly how to photograph a property from start to finish with your drone. See you later.